So this fall, I got the amazing opportunity to assist and direct a show at University of New Orleans called The Aliens. It's the first time I ever assisted directed. I loved it, and the thing I loved most about it was that I completely got to see the show transform from script to stage. I'm a theater major, so usually I'm the one acting in it, and it's a completely different view. You're the one, I guess, bringing it to life, and so you're just reading it and then you're acting it. But as a director, you get to even more bring it to life. You're like, this is what you say, but this is what you're gonna do, and that was amazing. So this show ran for 2 weeks. It was November 10th through the 20th. If you didn't get to see it, you should have. It was really great. What was cool about this show was that if you don't know the author is Annie Baker. She is completely about reflecting realism to the audience, and she's very naturalistic, and so you almost can make fun of her because every play that she ever writes has so many pauses in it. And specifically, even in this one, she describes every description, every stage direction. That's what I meant. Every stage direction. Most people, when you just say pause, well, she's like, here, look, I'll give you. So instead of pause, she's ignoring him. KJ is silent. Pause. Long pause. Short pause. Evan nods, trying to look dignified, and throws the bag into the dumpster. Then pauses. So it's very specific pauses. So one thing about these pauses, and when you're reading them, from the actual script for it becoming a show, you just read, okay, pauses. And then the next line, I remember something, and you don't think about how long that pause is going to be. But then when it comes on the stage, that pause can be, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And that's a really long time in the theater world to have a pause. And I think a lot of times people have this idea that in theater, you can't have pauses. This is theater. You always need something dramatic happening. It's entertainment, so you have to entertain me. You can't pause. You can't do anything like that. And so that's why I picked the element boredom. Because throughout the pauses, as an audience member, you're wondering, well, what are these pauses for? Why is there so many? Why is no one talking? Why is nothing happening? And a lot of times in these pauses, they have actions. So there may be no dialogue, but, they're smoking a cigarette. They're taking the trash out. And so a lot of people are like, why do I want to watch someone take the trash out when I need to go take the trash out? And that's actually completely Annie Baker's idea. She's like, yes, you can be doing theater. You can be going out to take the trash, and that is theater. You are acting without even knowing it. And so that's really cool. Another reason why I think it's boredom is that the theme of the play is really hard to understand. So I've seen the play multiple times, and it took me almost a month before I finally got the concept. And yes, it is harder to get the concept, in between rehearsals because you don't get the whole play, but I didn't know what it was about because it was so different. So in the very beginning, they're just being. They're simply just living. And so you're wondering, like, wait, what is this about? Am I just supposed to watch them? Is it about anything? You question that. You question a lot of the things that happen. You're like, did that happen? Which, is, again, completely Annie Baker's purpose. So in the beginning of the first act and the second act are completely different. So the first act is about these two older guys. They're in their 30s. They always hang out at this coffee shop. They're all about psychedelics, and they drink psilocybin tea. And they start to mingle with this 16-year-old who works at the Green Sheep, the coffee house. And so it's kind of like how they intermingle and how they become friends, even though they're so far apart. So one of the themes is coming from two generations and being accepting of others and friendship, and also alienating yourself. Because that's what some of the characters did. And so the first act is kind of like lively and up, and it's like, oh, friendship, they're all being friends, yeah, yeah. So then the second act completely changes, and the second act, Jasper, one of the older guys, he, hate to spoil it, but he has a drug overdose. And so then the whole second act is them finding out about that, and how they deal with it, and how a 16-year-old deals with it, and how a 30-year-old deals with it, and it's completely different, and how they intermingle within that sadness and within that depression, and again, completely different. But, so, you know, you watch this show, and you walk out of the theater, and you're like, what did I just watch? What is this about? And like I said, it took me a long time. And so, I mean, even some of the things that Jeffrey Jones writes is that, after all, watching any play is hard work. One not only has to pay attention, but figure out what's going on in real time, without the ability to put the play down or look away when one chooses. So that's another hard thing. If you just look away and you're like, actually, if you look away for a couple seconds, you still don't know what's going on, and you come back, you're like, he's still taking out the trash. Why is he still taking out the trash? I don't understand it. You know, so it takes a long time to understand it. But again, that was kind of her purpose, to say that anyone can do acting, or what you do day to day, and what this world is realism, and that this can be theater. This is what you're doing. And I just wanted to show you. She just wanted to mirror it. So, I hope you enjoyed my presentation. So, I also have included a clip. It is a 5-minute clip. It is in scene 4, Act 2. So, this is where Evan deals with his depression. Evan is a 16-year-old. And he calls his so-called girlfriend in a different state. And so the whole clip is 5 minutes, yet the dialogue is only really a minute. And so that's why I want to show you, is because it's such long pauses, and he's just doing actions. And so you wonder, what's the purpose of this? You know, why is he doing this? So just watch it, and I'd love to hear what you think.
It's me, Evan. How are you? I'm smoking a cigarette. I was calling because I was wondering how your recital thing went. If they gave you the first part in Taco Bell's, or if you had to play the other part. I bet you were good, either way. I'm also calling because my friend died. I know that sounds dramatic, but my friend died. He was like a genius and a novelist, and he died of a drug overdose. He's like one of my best friends. I'd like to come visit you in Boston. He's the only person I've ever known that... my grandparents died when I was a little baby. Oh, okay, sorry, this message is really rambly.